is bothering me? One, two, three, three, two, one. What the heck is bothering me? Nothing right now, but we'll see. We are live on We All Be TV. We just checking out something here. Making sure everything's okay. I think everything's fine. Hmm. Okay. Yep, it look good. All right, everybody, welcome back to another wonderful, edutainng, infotaining edition of The Art of It Thinks and Know Something. But this is We All Be TV. This is News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Got a great one for you all today. This is a very extraordinary young lady. She is very fascinating. She's got a lot of interesting stuff going on. She thinks a lot about the world around her, and she seems to have a great love for her people. And so I'm gonna put her on the show, and let me just read a disclaimer because I'm not responsible for anybody words come out their mouth, only my own, and it doesn't represent the channel, but I just do this because that's how we do it. Because they be funny around here sometimes, but yeah, disclaimer. The views expressed by hosts and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group Incorporated. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints, expressions, which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. So, without further ado, this is the lady of the hour of the moment, introducing boys and girls, scholars and laymen, young and old alike, to the wokish and the sleepish, to the sheeple and the people. We bring to you SiStar Lauryn. How you doing tonight?
Good evening. How are you?
All right, it's good to have you on the show. You are interesting young lady.
Good to be with you. Good to be with you.
Yeah, so like it was your birthday recently, and Capricorns are born to rule. That's the golden rule. Capricorns are born to
Yeah.
rule.
Yep, my birthday was Wednesday.
So you're special. So you like you mind sharing your age, or you got to think about that?
I just turned 23.
Wow, you youngin. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
hmm
you almost half my age. Jesus. But I try to stay young as possible, young at heart. But it's good to have people like you on. You are, up and coming. You got a lot of interesting ideas about the world and about your place in the world, about your work and purpose. So who is SiStar Lauryn? Who are you? Why are you here? I mean, not
I'm
on the show,
here.
but I'm just talking like purpose and all that. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like progression is all about number one, self-improvement. And I learned that, trying to get to a better place in life and not follow the steps of my peers and try to avoid some of the things that they experienced. And so I had
Mhm.
to learn a little bit about myself and learn a little bit about the people around me. And I learned that it's a messed up world we live in here. And a lot of us, black people, we're all affected by it.
Mhm.
And so I think that, the best thing I can do is educate myself, learn my history, learn the problems, identify the problems within myself and amongst my people, and share that and come up with solutions together. I don't know it all, but we can figure it out together.
I definitely agree with that. That's a great way to look. And King BJ send his regards. Hello, Lauren.
Hello, Bernard. How you doing?
So, so what have you found out in terms of solutions right now? Because you still, I guess, on your journey, still early and fresh. But what help have been some solutions you came across or created or you think could help?
Um, it starts with the individual. If we all can improve ourselves as individual, we can be better in everything we do, whether it's our work, our relationships, whatever it is. It starts with recognizing who you are who you are, if there's some things that need to be changed about you,
Mm-hmm.
and accepting those things
Mm.
and doing something about it. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to say that I have all the answers, but
Right.
just challenging yourself to be the best person that you can to be diligent, educate yourself, and be respectful and mindful and considerate of the people around you.
So what type of household produces a sister or SiStar Lauren? I'm curious.
Um, so my household, the household that I grew up in
Mm-hmm.
from age 4 or 5, so I decided to move out. It was my mother and my stepdad, who I also call my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My biological father is in my life. I distinguish the two, but um, he was he was like the father role to me. My mom, um, my parents worked. They went to work.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much middle class, kind of in the suburbs. Chester, I guess you could consider it the suburbs. Um, my biological father and my mother, I'm still learning things and I'm still figuring things out, but they didn't work out. They were together for a long time before I came in the picture, and I have an older brother, and he had a different upbringing than I did with the two of them together. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and that created experiences for my mother, which I guess you could say she didn't want me to be brought up the same way my brother was.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I keep it at that.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm just saying everybody got an origin story. You like a superwoman. You Wonder Woman, the real Wonder Woman, Sister Lauren. Yeah, but it's good to know that you come from. It's like you come from a place of love. That you do have
Mhm.
respect for black men. I listen to some of your viewpoints. Like, what are your take on the state of black women, black men relationships in terms of dynamics?
um, it's a mess right now. It's broken. I don't think we have respect for one another. But again, that starts with respect in the self. We don't respect ourselves and who we are, and so we don't respect the people that we should respect, and that's our peers, our men and our women, our parents, our sisters, our brothers, our children, whomever. We're in a state where we're obsessed with our possessions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't love ourselves outside of possessions and what we consider success. And because I feel like we don't know how to genuinely love ourselves, it makes it difficult to genuinely love another person.
Hmm. So, how will you define success for you?
Going into things with the good intentions, and being the best person I can be with it. I'd say definitely getting out of my current space, my area. I grew up in Virginia. I live in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Getting up and getting out, reaching people, whether it's networking, loving someone, healing someone, helping someone, just being able to make a difference in some aspect of life. And um, just like I said, having going into everything with good intentions.
So, what's your definition? How do you heal somebody? I think that's an interesting choice of word to use.
How I would say I believe I healed myself. It took not only myself but others around me to realize things about myself. And I'm still growing and still learning things about myself. But um, we need people in our lives to point out those things about us that we should probably change, or those things about us that may be bad habits or
Mm-hmm.
that may bring out the negative character in us. And sometimes it's hard to do that on your own.
Okay, I got you. Okay. So what do you think is the number one thing that's causing this type of disruption and discontent between the black man and the black woman?
The number one thing, I mean, we are subject to an environment where, man, we we're like I said, we're taught to have this obsession with our possessions,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman expects the man to come with something all the time, or the woman may expect a man to live up to a certain standard,
Mm-hmm.
and the man may expect the same from a woman, but a lot of times we're not holding ourselves to that standard, and so it becomes a clash. I want you to do this, or you want me to do that, and so women aren't getting what they want out of men, and men aren't getting what they want out of women, and it's becoming hate.
Mm. Is there any way to get rid of the hate? What's the number one solution you think?
The number one solution to get rid of that hate is to heal yourself.
Okay. Okay.
That's very simple. I like, what are you doing to contribute to this mess?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're a parent, you know, if you're a woman seeking a man seeking a woman, how are you presenting yourself? What are you putting out in the world that you want? What are you putting out in the world? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like physics. What
Mm.
you put out is what you get back.
Mm. I hear you. So it all starts with you, huh? You got to
Yeah.
be the change you want to see in the world, or what you
Yeah.
want to see. Yeah, you
Yeah.
manifest that.
Mhm. Definitely.
Somebody actually, you seem like you're very like an old soul. Have you been here before?
Oh my goodness. I've told you this story before. I've told you this story. Yeah. Supposedly my mother told me when I was younger, before my stepdad came into the picture, it was just my mother and I.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I used to stand up on a little stand while she was washing dishes, and I was standing up beside her, and I looked at her. I think I was 2 or 3 years old, and said, I've been here before. And I told her a whole life story about kids I had and this husband, and I lived in Texas, and she got scared. She's like, well, my 2 or 3 year old know about Texas. And she called the pastor and asked her about reincarnation, and she's like, reincarnation isn't real. So the pastor prayed over me, came and blessed the house. And yeah. I don't know. I think we all have been here before, but
Yeah. So she thought you was possessed or something. Like she needed exorcism.
I don't know what she thought. I think she was just scared.
But I think
She,
like you just gotta like your contemporaries. You 23 years young. You just turned 23, and you seem like you're very like poised, confident. You know who you are. You know they said the brain ain't fully developing until 26 allegedly. It's like you got a lot of sense for your age. And is it hard to deal with? I'm gonna say deal with your peer group.
yeah. It's hard. Not only my peer group, it's hard to deal with people in general,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. I wouldn't say it's hard,
Okay.
but um people get tired of my conversation. Like, hmm, thank you. Thank you. A lot of times my mom refers to me as Malcolm X daughter when I come over, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, don't go all Malcolm X on me.
Mm.
She can say one thing and the conversation will kind of go that route. Um but yeah, I do get a lot of harsh feedback. I'm not very credible because, I don't have a degree, or I'm not anybody's doctor or anything.
Mm.
I actually I played the piano. I haven't played in probably the past 2 years. I
Mm.
played the flute. I write. I can sing a little bit.
Mm. You're very talented. or I'll call gifted. It's like you very gifted. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. You go ahead and finish your thought.
That was the end of my thought. My It's kind of, music has been around my family. My mom played instruments. My father, my biological father, he played instruments. My brother plays instruments. My cousins were in a singing group when I was younger. I have a cousin. Her name is Tyra B. She's an artist.
Hmm.
Music's kind of been all around me.
Yeah, old soul indeed. And brother Shakim, he's a supporter. We all be. His grandfather was actually a famous freedom fighter from Mississippi named Alf Skip Robinson. And
Write that down.
he was a great man. He actually got in the shootouts with the Klan back in the 70s and the 80s in Mississippi. Man, he was, he was a badass. He was a superhero. That was a real person. But yeah, he's a supporter. We all be. But yeah, I guess we all,
Look into that.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. I'm just going through the chat. You really got people interested in here. You're very precocious.
I just noticed I don't even have the chat. And what is my stance on race, particularly Black people? Where do we come from? I'm still figuring it out. I'm still learning about it. My stance is, first of all, I've said this before and I'll keep saying it again. We identify ourselves historically and where we come from based on these education forms that have been given to us by our oppressor. And they've been telling us lies. They've been mixing up stories, been telling us these folk tales. And our best bet, for learning about ourselves is get information from, I'm sorry.
No, you fine. You good. Hey, anything can happen doing a live podcast. That's life.
Um, get information from all sources. Not everything that you get from one source is necessarily the right information. It's kind of, just like there's different forms of religion and different forms of spirituality that we follow, kind of based on one thing, but different interpretations. I hope I didn't
No,
get
you
too
fine.
crazy with that.
You can't get too crazy here on We All Be. I just want to put the disclaimer. Your thoughts, your opinions, your views, your world. Just trying to amplify who
Perspective.
you are and let people know they're not alone in the way they think about things. That sometimes we get very isolated, especially in a year like 2020, where anxieties are amplified and people feel alone and things of that nature. And people are really curious about you.
That's wonderful. I love to share my thoughts with people. I will say on the stance of race and where we come from, I am not one that follows the story of millions of Africans were captured and thrown on a boat
Hmm.
and brought here and enslaved. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's something I'm still educating myself on, and I really don't like to um, say, "Oh, this happened" or "this didn't happen." That's why I say I follow the story or I follow the belief.
Hmm. Well, yeah, you very exceptional. Do you consider yourself a crystal child? Are you familiar with that stuff, like the indigo stuff and crystal children? Are you
A
part of
little
that
bit.
type of
I've
mindset?
read a little bit about it, but I'm not
Hmm.
too. No, I don't know too much on it.
Mm. Well, you like you're an interesting person. Like you are here to change the world, not to conform to the world. It seems like you really are serious and sincere. It seems to try to bring solutions because I know you're working on. We may have a food shortage coming up very soon. And I know you had work on a solution about that. Can you share with us a little bit about that and how can we support you?
I am doing everything I can to get fresh produce to those who don't have it accessible at their, the hands of their convenience. I
Hmm.
noticed that when you go into certain neighborhoods, you only see, the corner stores, the little markets here and there, but to actually have a grocery store where you have actual good quality produce, food that is going to be healthy for you, food that you need to take care of yourself. it's unfortunate that a lot of times people have to resort to less healthier choices because of convenience. And so I am starting a garden. Fortunately, I have some family who has some land and is going to allow me to use that inherited land to start a garden and be able to hand out some fresh produce to the people who don't have it at the hands of their success or their convenience, excuse me.
That's excellent. Yeah, star seed. Yeah, star seed. That's another term I heard use. But somebody asked you where you from, Portland, but you from Virginia, right? You in Virginia, right?
Yeah, I am from Chester, which
Okay.
is in Chesterfield County.
Okay. Very proud. Virginia born and raised, where she spent most of her days.
Really?
Yeah, but I gotta ask you about what's going on.
Oh, it's a
What
whole
your
lot.
take on the current political climate right now?
The current political climate.
Yeah.
Um, it's a mess.
Hmm.
I think that I've kind of removed myself from politics because I've accepted the fact that there's nothing politics can do for me, to be honest with you. It's hard for me to develop like a take or an opinion about it
Hmm.
because at this point it's just like, what are you here for? At this point I got to get my people together and I got to do what I got to do. We got to do what we got to do to survive.
Hmm. So, how do you define politics, though? I'm curious, like how we define that term of politics.
Generally when people mention politics, I think government.
Hmm.
But there could be politics, and there's a politics to a lot of different subjects. Everything has its own politics.
Hmm. I'm just curious because my thing, to me, what could be political for me is like what you decide to eat tonight. Like, do I go to? I know you probably don't go to these places. Why go to Burger King or Wendy's or McDonald's? I mean, it's a political choice right there. Where you got
It
choices,
is.
you
Yeah. It's
define
that,
your
yeah.
own, path and whatever, free will or whatever. That's why I look at politics. Like, when people look at representative politics, like, who's in office. To me, it's really weird to call those people leaders. They're not leaders. They're puppets for certain interests. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Whoever
They're
lobbied them, who signed their
employees.
checks, yeah, they're employees, not really leaders.
Yeah.
Whoever put them there are the leaders. And a lot of
Right.
times it's not us, it's the lobbyists, the people that got the deep pockets that
Mhm.
control the policy. So it's not even us a lot. That's why they don't do nothing for us. That's why they want us to starve and not pass us any stimulus checks and wait till after Christmas to do it, which is crazy.
Right.
And then give you something that you can only buy a PlayStation 5 with. And then you can't pay your rent with it. You can't, they say let them eat cake. You can't afford to buy the damn cake to eat it, let alone the ice cream. This is hell. This is purgatory in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
that's right. To be honest, my take on this whole stimulus check, all this, I think that to me, it's shown how dependent we have become as people on government. We're
Hmm.
complaining about them giving, not even them giving, but yeah, them giving us $600 of our own money. We should be complaining about where the rest of that money is going because that's still our money.
Yeah.
That's money that we earned and have paid into what we call taxation. And yeah, I think that we're kind of lost mentally with that.
Yeah, it's very, it get like, let me see if I can put this. Well, I'll just put it up right quick. Okay, yeah, you are not alone. Like Michael Jackson's song, BJ. You're not alone. Okay, thank you.
That's right.
Yeah, but like what I was thinking about, the way black folks approach politics in general is like eating comfort food or going to church. It's like a very emotional thing. It's not logic. It's
Hmm.
not any rhyme or reason to it because I know I talked to older black men in their 70s. Like I had a childhood minister who baptized me. He unfriended me on Facebook because I voted for Trump. And his thing is whoever vote for Trump, they stupid. They're some of the stupidest people on the planet. And he's
Hmm.
a minister, a leader of a flock of people. I mean, like, I'm glad I haven't been in church on a regular basis since 20 years ago. But another older gentleman that I respect, he's a former college professor who lives in Virginia in his 70s. And I told him I voted for Trump. He said, You joking, right? Ron, you joking? I said, no, I'm not joking. I voted for Obama twice, and I voted for Trump twice. I went to Obama's inauguration twice, went into debt going to the inauguration, even got a $300 speeding ticket in Virginia, trying to rush back home to vote in the state he would not even win. Tennessee. It's so red down there. So, yeah, disappointment. The mulatto did not do the job. The half breed did not do it for me. The half
But
breed did not do it for me.
we'll go a long way to defend our people. Will go a long way to defend him.
Yeah, I mean, he's like worse than crack. I mean, like for black people, he's the crack for black. But what I'm saying is like you vote against your own self-interest all the time when you support Democrats. Like if you're a black person and you still voting Democrat in 2020, you're voting for your replacements. Like Joe Biden want to replace you with illegal immigrants, and you've been here. Our people built this country. We
Mm-hmm.
were the first non-union workers in this country. Didn't even get paid for it. Non-union. It started unions to keep skilled black folks from getting labor, from getting jobs. Kamala want to bring 500,000 of her cousins over here. She's not black. She's blackish
but
when she want to
to
be.
our people, her cousins are us.
Yeah, they not. Well, she's a Hindu, Brahmin, Aryan. She's a Bull Connor's wet dream. I mean, she's not a friend to black families. Um, Joe Biden's not a friend. He's more like Calvin Candy, Gorilla Pimp edition. Joe Biden be flustering over his word, then get the black. I'm not giving y'all a goddamn thing. Who the hell you think you are, Niagara? Get in line. You know the deal. Get in line and bend over right now. 50 goddamn lashes. You start getting that thing about him. But I'm saying black people are weird. I be talking to black folks. Well, I follow Malcolm X. Don't you know Malcolm X went hard against the Democrats the last 2 years of his life? He
Mm-hmm.
told y'all not to trust the Democrats. He said they were worse than the Republicans. One is a fox, the Democrats, the other is a wolf. He said the white conservative is more honest than the white liberal.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, you let these people utilize us for whatever reason. We got Stockholm syndrome. Get nothing out of it. You telling your kids and grandkids to follow your silly ass lead. Enough is enough. It's like this is why a lot of young black people don't go to church. It's foolishness.
Yeah. And I think the problem is, and I say a lot of stuff on Facebook that people don't agree with. And one thing I said was, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I understand, the power and the right to vote. But when you're voting based off emotion and you haven't even taken the time to look into the representatives or the candidates that you're voting for, or you may have interest in, other
Mm-hmm.
than what you see on TV or the ads that you hear on the radio, I don't feel you deserve the right to vote, because you're voting based off of what? Your opinion or your emotion and what you heard on a radio ad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we messed up, with Obama, with Joe Biden. Like you said, we get so consumed in the emotion instead of the logic. We hear Trump saying things that we don't like to hear,
Yeah.
but let's look at the policy. And then, people don't like to look at the policy. Well, that's the point. That's the point of the job, the policy. They're not here to say what you like. They're here to, but if they're a congressman, to do this, and if they're a president, to do this, or whatever. But yeah, it's the mental state. It's the trust that we have in media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Well, you make some great points. Like voting is the least important political tool in the tool belt for us. Voting is a popularity contest because it's
Mm-hmm.
not based on people say it's not what you know, it's how you feel. Like I feel like I like the way his hair is cut, and I like the sound of her voice. It's never about about that policy where they allow the water to be contaminated with lead, and it's like okay,
Mm-hmm.
Obama, right? I ain't gonna never let Obama off the hook for Flint. He could kiss my,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna let me just roll it back around. What I'm saying is I did not realize what he did in Flint, Michigan several years ago when the people asked for him to come to save them from the whatever they were going through with the water, right? This man fake drinking Flint water twice. When the people was gathered to see him, all them black and brown faces, This dude got there. Well, bring me a cup of water. Run from back there. Bring me a cup of water. He like he ain't drinking all the way. Like he just see everybody see. Yeah, we see the cup is still full, Mr. President. You haven't fooled nobody with this BS. And he did it again, sitting with the table with the governor of Michigan for the cameras again. He did that fake drink. I said, you a damn fool if you
See, I
gonna
don't
get off
need
on
you to
me.
get on TV and be a clown, get on TV and be an actor or be an actress and be a clown and follow a script. What I
Yeah.
need you to do is do your job as a representative of this nation, or as like I said, whoever, whatever you are, whatever your role is, do your job. If
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see actors and actresses, I'd watch a movie.
That's right. But this is a big movie though. It's a big South. That's the thing. He's a matinee B idol. Oh, what do you call it? Matinee idol, what Judge Joe Brown would say about Barack. And actually, he was trained by a guy named Harry Lennox. You know, the guy who was in Five Heartbeats. I don't know. You kind of young. I don't know you know about the
Yeah,
Five
I know.
Heartbeats.
I know the Five
The
Heart.
dude with the cleft chin. You know, some of the tall guy, light skinned dude. He was in what other movie? You probably know him from Barbershop. One of them Barbershop movies. He was in that. Harry Lennox the third. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about. Which
You ever seen
character
the
did he play
Superman, the recent Superman
in?
movies with the general?
No.
Jesus.
Which character did he play in the Five Heartbeats?
He did play. He was the tall, bright skinned guy, yellow guy, high yellow. He had the cleft chin.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but he knew Obama since 1992. He was on the Man Cow show in Chicago. Once he got through interviewing him, he saw a cutout of Obama and called him a hole, whatever. And they asked, why you say that? Because he said, well, I knew Obama since 92, and I was approached by some people to teach him how to be presidential or how to act like an educated black man from the south side of Chicago. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? Because he's from Chicago. His family is part of that elite black Chicago folk,
Mm.
So Obama, he been showing it. Because you look at Harry Lennox, right? And you look at Obama, you see how he sounds, how he looks. Obama's acting like him. I remember I had met Harry Lennox at a barbecue place here in Memphis back in 2013. I had a friend from Chicago. I was entertaining her, and I said, "That's Harry Lennox, man." Like, I said, "That gotta be the guy." And I approached the table. I said, "Hey, man, you Harry Lennox?" He said, "Yes, I am." We're just coming through Memphis, and he had his friend. I said, "You know what? I loved you as Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and Keep the Faith, baby with Vanessa Williams playing Hazel Scott." I said, "You know what? If they ever make a movie about Obama, you'll be the perfect Obama." Him and his friends look at each other, they started laughing and smiling. I took a picture with him to preserve the moment. But yeah, I didn't know that he actually knew Obama like that, and that he actually trained him to act a certain way. Because Obama's an empty suit who reads off a teleprompter, and people think that he's so intelligent because he's stammering. Well, he trying to think about how he gonna tell the lie. That's not no thoughtfulness. Like more about how I'm gonna tell this lie. I could be like he's not really intellectual like that. He's a CIA asset, as far as I'm concerned. His daddy's from
Yeah.
Kansas, not Kenya.
Yeah.
But that's my rant. I'm sorry for going on that rant,
That,
but
that's the reason he was conceived.
oh yeah, definitely. And it's like Bill Clinton too. Don't you know his interest? You don't know who these guys' fathers really are. Like Bill Clinton's father is a mystery to a lot of people because that's last name he got is his stepfather's last name. Now there's some theories that Bill Clinton's father could be John Kennedy. He met John Kennedy in the Rose Garden when he was a teenager. There's footage of that actually, which is like a Forrest Gump moment. Who plans that type of stuff? Then you had a Winthrop Rockefeller, part of the Rockefeller clan, who was a governor of Arkansas. So a lot of people believe that his father was a Rockefeller, Winthrop Rockefeller. Okay, he's close to the Rockefeller clan. He's part of the New World Order type of stuff, as we all know. But it's just intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the father? Who's the pappy? Who's the pappy? Okay, I'm gonna stop. I just but it's just weird. And people, I remember. I gotta tell you this. What about my Jenkins died? Judge the Army Bailey. He was actually an activist, legend in the civil rights movement. He was so radical that they recalled him from the council in Berkeley, California, of all places. He got recalled. But he's from Memphis, co-founder of the National Civil Rights Museum. He did a couple of movies, like he was the preacher in How Stella Got a Groove Back. He was the judge that got oranges thrown at him in court by Woody Harrelson and the People versus Larry Flint. So, he was an interesting guy. He passed away 5 years ago. And the person who did his eulogy was Bill Clinton. So Bill Clinton, black folk, he was at the Mississippi Boulevard Church, one of our big black churches here in Memphis. So Bill Clinton got up there and said, "Yeah, I remember Judge Bill Bailey. His father and my grandfather both owned grocery stores. I had one. My grandfather owned a grocery store in Hope, Arkansas. He had this thing about Jackson cookies. Oh God, them lemon cookies were made from heaven. They're the best lemon cookies known to man. And them black women, oh Lord, Mr. Clinton loves Jackson cookies. I said, what's wrong with you fools? These some older black women. Oh, he like fried chicken, and saxophone, and lemon cookies. Jackson lemon cookies. I love them cookies to this day. I mean, Bill Clinton, he's a likable dude, but he's a con. He's
They're
a
all
con artist, but
cons.
he's likable
They're
though.
all cons,
Yeah, they
if
are.
you
I was
ask
saying
me.
something better than others. Like even because Hillary is not that likable to me. I mean, she's very smart and ruthless and all that, but she just don't got that type of charm. Because even with Obama, he could actually still win, probably, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because so many people still like him
Yeah.
or even love him. You know.
That's true. It'd be us that vote him in,
Yeah, but
believe it
our
or
votes
not.
really counted though. You think they? I mean, you just look at what's going on now. You think we actually getting our votes counted? Is like some type of manipulation going on?
I try not to speak on these things because I'm not 100% educated on it and I can't back it up with facts. But
Mm-hmm.
I think this is some crooked stuff the Democrats have going on.
Mm-hmm.
And, they'll they'll do whatever they need to do to get the votes and um push out whatever it is they have on their agenda and that they need to get done.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Both sides are crooked to me. I mean, like Trump has no friends on either side of the aisle, and he got rid of some despicable characters around him, like the Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin. He should be in federal prison right now because he illegally foreclosed on 80,000 folks' homes in California when he was running West One Bank for George Soros. And but the thing about it is, Kamala Harris was Attorney General, so she let him off the hook. He gave a lot of money to her campaign, and now he's the Secretary of Treasury. So you got all these clowns running the clown show. The circus stays in town
I don't
24/7.
understand how not people like you and I, but people who just kind of like, go with whatever they see, whatever the media produces, whatever they see on the TV or whatever they see on the radio. But yet they show us what they're doing. Like prime
Mm-hmm.
example, the TV show Power. Do you
Oh yeah,
watch that show? Are you
yeah. I
familiar with
like
that?
book two. Actually, they redeemed themselves from that silly
Yeah,
alien.
that's something I want to talk about
Yeah,
if
go ahead.
time permits it. But
Yeah, go ahead.
while we're talking about politics and government, they
Mm-hmm.
show us how crooked it is and, what it's all about, how things are achieved in order to obtain an image or votes. And we're not applying these things to real life. It's right
Mm-hmm.
there in front of our faces. But I wanted to mention I think it was the last episode of Power. Do you have you watched the last episode?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Please
well
don't.
then
I'm
I
gonna watch
can't speak
tonight though.
about
I
it. I
said
can't
yeah.
speak about it.
But what's your? I mean, overall, I hear what you're saying, but the only thing that people like being abused and used is why they like these rogues. Like people like to be played a fool for, sucker for love, a fool.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
The whole town laughing at me. We people like to be played for a fool.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But it's almost like we don't even recognize it.
No, we don't. I think everybody wants to be accepted though, on some level. Even like I'm a loner type of dude, but I could be sociable. But everybody wants to feel like they love or
Yeah.
accepted
Yeah.
on some level.
Yeah. We want some kind of recognition
Yeah,
from the outside.
it's just
Yeah.
human nature.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I guess people, what the thing about it is like Jesus. Oh, I like Jesus when but if Jesus was walking around right now, you wouldn't love Jesus. Cause hey, you can't do that. F you, man. I'm tired of you telling me why I can't do. I'm tired of you telling me to live better. Who the hell are you? I'm the son of God. I don't care. We gotta get rid of this mom. This mom going
Mm-hmm.
crazy. He's like they be walking around and shit. Do the shit. We gotta get rid of him. I mean, the concept
Right.
of Jesus, you want somebody to die for your sins. You don't want to be accountable for your sins. It's like
Right.
with
Exactly.
politicians, you vote these people in. They so corrupt and crooked, but did you hold them accountable?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hold their feet to the fire? Did you give them an agenda to enact? I mean, black people like, okay, look, Donald Trump just pardoned 26 people, some questionable. But here's the thing about it. If black folks really had a code that we speak of, we could have got a lot of people pardoned by Donald Trump. We could have
Hmm.
got Mumi Abu Jamal out of prison. We could have got Dr. Bill Cosby. He shouldn't even be facing what he's facing. H. Rap Brown. There's so many freedom fighters that are still in the gulag of the American prison industry complex that we don't even talk about. You know, like with Dr. Randy Short will always say that we love our traitors but hate our heroes.
Right.
There are
Yeah.
folks that have put their lives on black folks forever, and we don't give them no type of props or no type
Mhm.
of respect. Look, Kim Kardashian whispering Donald Trump ear to get out a drug king queen pen from Memphis. Where are the black people whispering in Donald Trump ear? Hey, need to get out Mumi, free Mumi Abu Jamal, free H. Rap Brown, free Dr. Batula Shakur, pardon Ashada Shakur, pardon her.
The
There's
ones
no
that
where's the
that
black
have
leadership at
it,
for that?
the ones that have that ability, that are right there, that can, whisper in his ear and work with them, they're obligated to a debt that they have with, you know, a label or a management company or whomever. You
Mm-hmm.
can't go whisper in his ear about that. We
Mm,
always, try to hold those people accountable, but we don't even recognize that the image that they portray to us is no different than the image that's being portrayed by the politicians on TV. And then, yeah, we can hold these people accountable, but my question is, really, what good does that do when all these entities of government infrastructure has been bought by corporations, and it's to the point where our government isn't even government, you know,
mm-hmm.
anymore. We're our government is a corporation.
Yeah. I mean, I think about, the Democrats really destroyed this country inside out. I mean,
Mhm.
starting with the Clinton administration. Bill Clinton now is one of the worst presidents in my mind that ever exist. I used to love Bill Clinton growing up because I didn't know nothing, no better because everybody voted Democrat. And like I said, he was very, very charming. I'll play the saxophone. I'll play the saxophone on our Arsenio Hall show. I love you, black people. But you know what he did to become a legitimate, presidential candidate? He put to death a retarded black man in Arkansas,
Hmm.
Ricky Ray Rector, back in '92. The legitimate, to make it, I'm tough on Niagara and crime. I'm tough on crime. Look at me, retarded black man. Time to die, retarded black man. He put that black man to death. He was mentally incompetent. And even Jesse Jackson and other people say, you know what, Bill, this is when he was governor of Arkansas. You don't need to do this. And he did it anyway. So he was willing to, I'll kill a black person to prove that I am tough enough on crime, that I believe in law and order.
Hmm.
So they've been sacrificing black folks this whole administration with the crime bill, with the reform on welfare. They sold out organized labor with the NAFTA trade agreement.
Hmm.
They brought on the Great Recession 2008 with the repeal of the Glass-Steagall Act on his administration, on his watch. They have done a lot of things. They have destroyed the middle class, the working class, got rid of the union power, and we look at where we at now in 2020.
It was all a part of a bigger plan. We have a
Yeah.
habit of saying someone should do something, but never want to be that someone. I honestly believe that we as Black people have come so obsessed. Well, first of all, we think all of our problems come from the white man, from
Mm-hmm.
slavery and everything that has happened in our past, and this system that we live in that's designed for us to really be at the bottom. But when it comes to progression, we have come obsessed with the idea that the white man has caused all of our problems and the white man is supposed to fix it. Just because he caused our problems, that doesn't make it his problem. It's
Yeah.
up to us to fix it. And here we are, going in circles. We've been going in circles since before I was here, before most of us was here, you know,
Mm-hmm.
expecting something out of this nation. That's just the way I see it. And we're not going to get anywhere with it, especially going in not only the political climate, but the environmental climate that we're approaching.
Mm. I hear you on that. That would make a lot of sense to me. But also, what you said about the corporation, or the government becoming a corporation. Also on Clinton watch, Lawrence Summers, he was the Secretary of, I think, Treasury, but he was Goldman Sachs. So you have all these Secretary of Treasury people being Goldman Sachs people. Even Supreme Court got Goldman Sachs people there, right? It started on the
Mhm.
Clinton watch. Laurie Summers talking about the $2,000 stimulus check will not be good for the economy, but he's not suffering. He's a part of the elites. He was a president of Harvard University a couple of times, I believe. I don't know what he's doing now, but these folks do not have the best interests of the average American at heart. We're nothing but cannon fodder, collateral damage, lab rats, and guinea pig for this great American or globalist experiment. And they owe us no explanations or give no fucks.
And here we are begging and pleading, save me, help me.
Right. Yep. Like you said, same old, right? And
Yeah.
what's gonna be sad? The purge. It's a purging going on, and a lot of us gonna be gone. I mean, 'cause what 2020 has exposed is our dependency on a system that does not respect us in terms of our humanity and our potential. And now everything is catching up with us and coming full circle. So I mean, I look at the people like they talking about the COVID. I mean, you got a lot of other things you got to contend with as Black people, so-called pre-existing conditions, hypertension, diabetes. Our state of affairs, we are messed up as a people. So we're not even ready for the revolution, let alone for the gym.
Yeah. I honestly believe one of two things is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They either going to send us to Europe so we can have to stand out in the cold and eventually mutate and have more of them. We die off and have more of them. Or
Mm-hmm.
two, they're going to throw us in chambers.
Well, you know what? What's the other option that we have? Do we have any hope?
Yeah, we have hope.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't have the answers for that one. It's just I don't think many of us would make it out,
Oh,
to
really?
be honest with
Yeah.
you.
Was only the strong survive, survival of the fittest. Is that like a form of systemic eugenics that's taking place right now?
Hmm.
Just weed out the weak ones, and it is what it is.
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and a lot
Yeah.
of I just think that to me it's interesting because people talking about their parents, but you allow the system to violate your children.
Hmm.
On with the miseducation, with the so-called whatever. We throw our kids to the wolves and expect them to make it without proper preparation. It's
Right.
like, Black people will kick their kids out the house without proper preparation. Like you want them to be grown at 18 when your brain ain't fully developed, allegedly till you're 26.
Hmm.
And then you have not given them the tools to survive and to not only survive but also thrive.
But a lot of times the parents don't even have the tools to survive, and they're
This is
still
true.
figuring it out when the kid is, or they just figured it out when the kid has reached 18, and now they don't want to have to carry their mess.
This is true, but like I know you talked on King BJ. I asked you a question, or I asked it in the chat about. I know you're a big fan of Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. That's your Bible, the ISIS papers you carried around everywhere. You probably hand them out too, right? You like a Bible
Yeah,
for
I do.
Dr.
I've
Francis Cress Wilson.
purchased extra copies to hand out to people.
Yeah. So, but she said in her book that Black women should wait to 30 and Black men to 35 to actually start procreating. You get as much education and life experiences, then start a family.
Yeah, yeah. And like I told you, I 100% agree with that. We are constantly learning. We go through phases the same way everything else in nature goes through phases. We as human beings go through phases, and it doesn't necessarily stop once you turn 21 or 25 or 26. Even beyond 40, you might be the same person, but mentally you've experienced some different things and learned some different things, and you may react and move about life differently. We're constantly going through phases, and you can, like I told you with my mother's experience, how my brother was raised. When my mother and father, they had him when they were 17 years old,
Mm-hmm.
compared to 18 years later I was born, and my mom had the opportunity to experience life and learn some things, and it's like that's not how you raise a child, but this is the way to go about doing it. And yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I think that, like I said before, the idea that a woman cannot produce or can't procreate or can't carry a child after a certain age is a part of this whole mess of this pharmaceutical crap we have going on, this pharmaceutical industry that we trust in, who
Mm-hmm.
profits off of our sickness and our what we have to offer. And yes, menopause happens. Like I said, we do go through phases. At some point, a woman's body goes through a phase where it's not gonna, produce children anymore. But if you're 40 years old and you still have a menstrual cycle, there's no reason why you should not be able to successfully carry a healthy child, full term.
I was thinking about. So, is your brother a screw up? Are you calling your brother a screw up?
No, I'm not calling my brother a screw up.
He was a mistake. We made a mistake. We make
No,
another
no,
piece
no,
of pie, huh? We make another one of you to your liking. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to get that
no,
in there. So,
no. My brother just went through, saw some rough stuff, experienced some rough stuff, and it's affected every aspect of his life. And you know, it happens to all Black people.
mhm. It's only so
He
much a
needs some
parent can be
advice.
responsible for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, it's interesting about I don't have any children, but I've been a child before. But like parents, your kids are more influenced by their peer group than they are by you, in certain stages. But what you could do is provide a foundation for them that regardless of what they go through life, they can learn how to be resilient and to be confident,
Hmm.
to face it because life is hard, especially for us. But for anybody, I don't care where you start out from as far as like, resources and whatnot. And really, what you hope is by the end of the journey, you know who you are, I would think, and be comfortable with being who you are.
Yeah,
So that's how you make your contribution to the world is to be authentically you. That's the best way to be, I think. But a lot of
but
people are not really
that's
comfortable with
you.
themselves.
If the authentic you is a liar and a thief, well, I wouldn't think that would be the authentic of anyone. I take that back.
It's all subjective. One man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter. Like what's good and bad is also subjective in a lot of ways. Given certain contextual stuff, right? I mean, it
Mhm.
is what I mean. I just look at you can say a good thing about anybody. I don't care how horrible they are, quote unquote. You can still say you can find something good about anybody.
Yeah, any reverend that has to do a what are the sermon at a funeral can tell you that.
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely. But then, what they say about us that we can't handle the truth. Then we can't really deal with the realities of the contradictions
Hmm.
because I don't believe that if a person is contradictory because human nature is contradictory. Don't mean you're a hypocrite. I
Right.
think being a hypocrite is denying that there are contradictions
Hmm.
and not embracing those things. And to me, just it's like of a person married an alcoholic, and you said, "Well, I can know he could be or she or he could be a better person than that." But that means you really are delusional because you're not accepting the person as they are. No, if they're who
Yeah.
they gotta want to change for themselves.
Right.
But
It's kind of, you're right. Kind of like, smoking cigarettes.
mm-hmm.
It's like you're smoking cigarettes, but do you know it's harmful to you? Do you know that you have a problem every time you put that cigarette to your mouth? But if you're aware of these things and you're continuing to choose to do it, it's different between you doing it ignorantly, or without any knowledge.
Oh yeah. 'Cause you said that I was thinking about the commercials from the 50s. I'm Dr. Harrison and I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes today, every day. And these are the cigarettes you should smoke 2 packs of. You think about the Marlboro Man, the iconic Marlboro Man who died from cancer related to smoking cigarettes. So
Yeah,
I
I don't
mean,
know anything about him.
oh yeah, I'm dating myself, but I'm just saying I saw this on 2020, some 20 years ago probably. But what I'm saying is, okay, you look at well, big oil. Big oil financed both big education and big pharma. Big oil did that. Rockefeller changed how we
Hmm.
use medicine. He basically, hey, has manufactured this poison to make a profit. Let's get rid of all this natural medicine stuff. 'Cause, there's been a lot of natural healers that been getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sebi won the well, but there's been a lot of them getting knocked out. Just like there's been a lot of bankers or banksters that have been getting knocked out for some years. And
Mm-hmm.
now you look at where we at now. COVID, economics, the Great Reset, Bitcoin, cashless society. So those things been leading up to this one big moment. Like, damn, all it's making sense now. They got rid of them natural healers and no banksters. Because this is what's coming. 2020. To me, 2020 is 2012. Is the Mayans doomsday year. It's 2020. 2020 is what it's like to have Mercury retrograde for a whole year. Are you familiar with Mercury retrograde?
I'm learning about it, but I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so it's like this for a whole year because normally Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year, but this is the whole year like that. You know what I'm saying? So it is interesting the dynamics that play. And I think that, what's said, we're going to lose a lot of people because a lot of people are not familiar or they don't know or they don't understand who they are and where they stand. And this is
Mm-hmm.
the time to take a stand. But if you are standing in quicksand, you're going to be slowly sinking and bringing a whole lot of people down with you.
Right.
So we're going to lose a lot of people. I'm just going to say it like that.
You let some people tell it. We already have to
Oh, we
quote.
have. People go missing every day. People check out every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is mentally exhausting to be a so-called black person. Like, if your body, you study medicine, I believe you into medicine, but
Mm-hmm.
if your body's in a constant fight or flight mode and you never get any rest, you can't help but have high blood pressure and other ailments.
Mm-hmm.
Baba Dick Gregory told me, and he used to say this all the time: 3 things is killing people: lack of sleep, lack of exercise, and lack of water.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 things people are not getting enough of. And that's why you die. You say, oh, I died of a heart attack. Well, are you getting enough rest? And are you sleeping right? Are you exercising? A lot of times people ain't doing that. It's like they have made it their business to undermine our full potential. We never had a space in this system where black folks were allowed to reach their full potential
No, we have
or
not.
be supported fully in terms of resources.
But I think that we play a very small contribution in that.
Okay.
I think we've a lot of, especially now, today, we
Mm-hmm.
become comfortable with the idea of success being, get a good job rather
Mm-hmm.
than start a business, have something of your own. And also look at, you know, they wouldn't have what they have without us.
Yeah.
And even beyond us, building everything that we have here today, we don't put our money into our own communities. We don't put our money into our own people. We put our money in the wrong places, and that's what gives a lot of these entities that power.
Mm.
We abide by the rules. We don't have to. We're gonna do kill me. You're gonna kill all of us.
Mm.
Who's gonna who's gonna collect your trash?
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna work in your restaurants? Who's gonna teach you everything that our ancestors taught you? They need us. They recognize that they need us. And the longer we continue to abide without education, we continue to put our money into the wrong pots. Look at the first stimulus check we got.
Mm-hmm.
We could have taken that money and turned it into an investment. But look how richer billionaires got since the beginning of COVID, and how the poor and the middle class, who are really the poor, have gotten even more poor.
Mm-hmm. It's like there ain't no middle class. They got rid of that buffer. That's why revolution gonna have to come. We overdue for some type of revolution.
The middle class was eliminated a long time ago. When you're making more, or excuse me, when you have more debt than the money that you're bringing in, you're
Mm-hmm.
poor. You don't have any assets. You don't have anything.
Mm.
You're considered poor. You're not middle class just because you're maintaining, because you can pay the monthly dues that are required for you to have those possessions,
Mm-hmm.
it's not yours. And it can be snatched just like that. If you don't have multiple means of income, if you're working a 9 to 5 for someone, they can let you go. You can get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Insurance is only but so much. You got short term disability and things like that. But when you're making $60,000 a year, but you got a $400,000 mortgage, a $20,000 car note, a credit cards, halfway max, you're not middle class. You're poor.
Mm. So we live in a masquerade, huh?
Oh yeah.
Mm. So well, that's interesting to look at because I know when you talk to people about, why people are so undereducated, and because I remember they had a couple years ago the fight for 15 to make minimum wage $15.
Hmm.
But if you look at the cost of living and inflation, it should be close to $30 right now. But then they
Right.
got you fighting for health debt. So you don't even know your worth or value just as a human being and what you bring as a worker or producer. But also things have become automated. You got some restaurants now that are fully automated. I know out west, some of these fast food restaurants was fully computerized. There's no
Hmm.
employees or whatever. And even with the trash thing, so they're getting rid of us. A lot of us are what do you call it? Wasteful eaters. You know, you got some that are useful idiots. But a lot of us are becoming wasteful eaters and trying to
Hmm.
get rid of us and make a profit at the same time while doing so. Like we are going into the Hunger Games.
Yeah. And it's best to prepare for it. And I try to start the conversation. I try to have the conversation, and people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to talk about politics. They don't want to talk about, what's going on in the world, what's going on with them. Escaping the conversation isn't going to make you escape your reality.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, the conversation may help you. And if you can't take the time to have the conversation, or at least take the time to have the conversation with yourself, well, what's your point? What's your point here?
Okay. It's somebody said useless eaters. I know it's something like that, but you got the. I went to the Georgia Guidestones. Are you familiar with that?
Hmm.
I went there 2 years ago in May. I was on my way back home or back to going to Montgomery from Atlanta, and someone told me just go ahead and go to the Georgia Guidestones. You out here, just go ahead and go. So I went there, like 90 miles outside of Atlanta or something like that. It was weird. It's the middle of a cow pasture. They got security video, a surveillance camera across the street. Just a cow pasture type of thing. Got this weird Stonehenge looking thing. And the Georgia Guidestones were put up there back in 1980 by this secret group. And basically, the goal of the Georgia Guidestones, like the New Age 10 Commandments, so to speak, like they trying to, they talk about depopulation, getting the
Hmm.
world down to about 500 million people. They say we currently at 7 billion supposedly people on the planet, but they try to get down to 500 million. And they got, the new world order way to live. Now they got it all translated in many different languages. And I remember I went there the same day this woman from England, I call her Illuminati Nikki. Her name was Nikki, but I call her Illuminati Nikki. I call myself Boule Ron. So I met Illuminati Nikki at the thing, and she was coming. She was coming from San Francisco. She was driving cross country to visit like some of the big sites in America. So she started in San Francisco, working her way across the country, Grand Canyon, all this
Wow.
stuff. So I met her that day. Sometimes it was interesting. We took pictures and stuff. I was playing my trumpet. I might have opened up some type of portal. I don't know, but I wasn't. It wasn't scary to me, but it was weird. You know what I'm saying? But you think about they letting you know for decades we're gonna do this. They let
Hmm.
you know through predictive programming this is what's coming down the pipe. I
Hmm.
remember General Wesley Clark talked about how he heard a speech back in '92, I think, from Paul Wolfowitz or somebody like one of them neocons, talking about what the New World Order that they're going to take over Iraq, Iran, and North Korea. And now all this stuff is coming to fruition. They
Hmm.
tell you all the time through the Simpsons, through their news programming, we're gonna do this. And I don't think folks believe it. Cause they think it's gonna be like, I mean, I really do believe that there are UFOs and aliens and stuff already here. Cause they keep on talking about, hey, they're here, right? They're here. So really, they're here. Okay. And it's some funny looking people in the world too. I'm gonna say that. But I do not believe that we are ready for what's coming. Cause we too concerned about who won the football game and about LeBron James. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
And about no TikTok, I don't see we ready for this right now.
No.
It haven't gotten worse or nothing. It has got to an extreme.
How fast do you think it'll happen?
And what is happening now, but people don't know it. And once they find out what it's about, it's too late. I mean, look at this year. They fast tracking it. And one thing about Trump, he slowed it down. See, he's not a part of their club. You know, he's wealthy, but he's not one of them. You know,
Hmm.
he's a businessman. And I think he's really trying to do right by the people. And he's too honest for a lot of people used to lies and deception.
Yeah.
You know, people want to be fooled and not loved. They rather be fooled than loved. Sometimes when somebody tell you their truth, it's because they respect you.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you because I respect your intelligence. I respect you as a human being. This is how I feel. This is where I stand. This is what I know. To me, I could deal with somebody that whether this somebody want to be lied to all the time, but they showing you who they are all the time. You keep on taking this person back. Like Joe Biden is a horrible lover and a deadbeat dad, but you keep on taking him back. Oh, but Joe, but he's so. It's how he say it.
That was another thing I said,
Yeah.
and people didn't like that one.
Well, forget these people.
The
They're gonna have to
Democrats is
suffer.
just like, that man that keep on lying to you,
Oh
cheating on
yeah.
you, and you keep going back to
It's
him.
a Billie Holiday song. He's my man. Oh, he hit me, but he loved me so, but he hit me. He's my man. Yeah, that's how we sound. We like beating wife, you know. We weird. Black folks it's spousal abuse what these folks do to us. Spousal abuse, but then it's like, okay, it's like Billie Holiday. I love Billie Holiday. I've been thinking about her all this weekend, looking at documentaries, everything. But Billie Holiday was the type of person she loved when her man beat on her. She liked dudes that beat her down and mistreat her, that cheated on her, they plied her with drugs. So, like, like even the guys when they would talk about her, they loved her. They said, look, Billie Holiday could go into a room with 100 guys and she'll find the asshole to be with. So
Mm.
how can you save a person if she don't want to be saved?
That's a lot of our black women today.
Thank you. That's why I'm bringing it up. So tell us about our black women, so I won't get in trouble. But you said,
I really wanted to bring that up once you've seen the new episode of Power. It is, let me tell you, this episode of Power is so powerful.
okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Anybody watching it. But I lost my train. Oh
You talking
yeah.
about black
But
women?
our black women today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've come so obsessed with the idea of what we see the guys in, chains and the nice shoes and the nice cars and the money, who really have no self-respect or respect for women.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the idea of what we see as a man,
Mm.
and what we think is how we should be treated, and it's not. It's not at all. We don't really know what self-respect is. We are in a generation where women think that just because you're getting paid to put your body out,
Mm-hmm.
it's self-respect just because you're earning something from it. You don't recognize that that body is worth more than a couple of dollars, or maybe even $100 or $500. And you can't expect a man to respect your body or respect you as a woman when you don't, respect yourself, and vice versa. A man, I would say, shouldn't expect a woman or anyone to respect him as a man if he doesn't respect his own self as a man.
That's true.
And um, black women, we follow the trends of the media and the trends of how we've been, told to think and feel about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's reckoning us. It's ruining our relationship with our children. It's ruining our relationship with our families, our men, everything.
So black woman is God, huh?
I believe that the human conscious is God.
Mm. I like you can't be saying this stuff and these hotep guys. I'm a hotep guy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a hotep guy. I'm just going. Ain't nothing wrong being a hotep guy, but
Mhm.
a lot of you guys they just allow for this type of behavior to go on so they can get them some.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you just gonna man. It's just weird. You thinking with the wrong head too many times.
But I mean, ask yourself as a man, if
Hmm.
you're just trying to fulfill one thing, why as a woman should you expect anything more from him? Especially when he shows you he's just trying to fulfill his bodily desires.
Yeah, try to be like Johnny Appleseed. I would have planted my seed all over the land, all over the land, all over the land.
Yeah, now that one I don't understand.
But the,
That's yeah,
the
yeah,
Rolling Stone.
procreate. Make as many of us as you can, but not the way we're doing it. No.
Well, have we ever had a chance though? I mean, you think about, I'm tired of this narrative about the kids on the border in the cages. We've been treated like that ever since we've been here, dealing with them.
Mhm.
They always been breaking up the black family. You go back to slavery, they always selling out the black family, breaking us up. And one of the first things that black folks did after the Civil War was try to find their family members. That's
Mhm.
why family reunions are so important to black people. You know what I'm saying? Because we always been like separated. They always trying to separate us. And, you know, my thing is like with us is like you look at the black man, like you had them sex farms back in the day. You in Maryland and
Mhm.
Virginia, in that area, a lot of them sex farms back in slavery time when a man would actually be forced to have sex with his mama or his sister or his aunt in slavery.
Mhm.
Producing we all kissing cousins as far as I'm concerned. But we all related because of that in a lot of ways.
Right.
But the fact that we were never allowed to have family, but then what saved us was the extended family, was the village,
Mhm.
was that because when we are together, we are a force of nature that can't be stopped. You
Right.
look at our biggest victories in the civil rights movement, so called, was when black man, woman, and child worked together. When the black man and black woman were on the same page and respected and loved each other. The Montgomery
Mhm.
bus boycott. When you look at Project C Birmingham, but we always think we need this white folks to save us. And really, our problem is we got to deal with us and be on in agreement on something and then move on it. And one thing you can learn from Trump, he's a street fighter. He's a brawler. He believes in himself. He's resilient. He's tough. He's gonna find out all types of ways to win. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they would say in the South, right? So
Mhm.
it's more than one way to get where you need to go. But I think was us as black people, black women are interesting. Black women are so powerful, but yet it's like a thing they say you can only serve two masters. A lot of black women in love with white daddy. That's their master, the boss that work. A lot of my issues at certain organizations I gotta go through. I gotta deal with black women being the gatekeepers.
Mhm.
Whether it be the IRS, whether it be a grocery store, whether it be anywhere, it's black women, some sassy, loud black woman that's disrespectful towards black men. For whatever reason, I try not to take it personal, but it happens a lot. And I try to be respectful and courteous, but sometimes I don't. I mean, like, lady, you like I knocked you up or something. Oh, you child support the way you treat me. I don't even know you like that. So I don't. It's interesting that black women are really the only group of women that don't have to respect their men to get what they want.
A lot of us as black women, I think that we as black women probably don't show that respect to black men is because a lot of us as black women feel disrespected by black men and feel like the men that should have been respecting us and loving us in our lives were not.
Mm-hmm.
But then that comes from another point of, you know, the experience of that man who we expect something from, whether it's your father, your brother, your husband, whomever. A lot of times these men are brought up in single mother homes and didn't have a father figure or a man to love them. So how can you expect a man to genuinely know how to love when he never had a man to love him? That's
Mm.
just the way I look at it. And that's why I say we have to be considerate in our relationships and understand the real meaning of unconditional love. You know, It's respecting and understanding that a person is the way they are, or they may have hurt you, or done something not with the intention to hurt you,
Hmm.
but because that's what they thought what was right, or they didn't know any better.
Now, you're so patient and thoughtful and insightful. I mean, I really like the way you approach this. Uh, I have been traumatized, but I love black women though. You know, my mom was black, my sister black, auntie. A lot of black women have helped me over my years, so it's not even about, I haven't given up on black women either. But the thing about it is, I think the way I was raised, it just ain't working for me. To be respectful, because like it's like women like aggressive guys, right? I ain't gonna say all women, but I'm just saying like I left a lot of wop on the table, trying to be kind and considerate.
Hmm.
No, I wish I had a time machine. I think Donald Trump has a time machine, but it's like I left a lot. I said, "Damn, man! If I knew 2020 was coming, I would have just made more of my situations." You know what I'm saying? I'm in a drought right now. This is crazy. It's not gonna, I don't know how 2021 gonna be, but But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, I didn't have a father growing up. I had men around. I had a grandfather, my mother's father. He was like a father to me. But my thing is, yeah, you kind of it's like trial and error a lot of times. Like, I'm the firstborn child of my mother and my father. They were married. They met in college. They were married when they conceived me, and they got divorced around the time I was like, I guess 2 years old.
Hmm.
And he ended up adopting another. I mean, it's weird, but not to have those examples. Like, I just like even women. It's like it's hard for me getting mad at the guy that leaves because you chose to be with a guy that might not been a man but just a male.
Hmm.
He we live in a state of arrested development as black people. We're not allowed to be, to reach our full potential as a man or a woman
Hmm.
in this system because we treat like children because we're not allowed to be in control of our destinies.
And we
Like,
over exaggerated in the wrong areas of our
yeah,
lives.
yeah. So it's fascinating, man. Like, so I mean, we got to find a way, like you said, to heal. Started with ourselves as individuals, and then as a collective, as much as possible, because we need each other right now.
Hmm.
And it's not a hurt. And I know people can point fingers all day long, and it's not gonna get us anywhere. Like even doing shows like this ain't gonna solve the problem. It just acknowledges that there is a problem, and they also acknowledge that you are not alone. That people are struggling with these issues and are trying to be a part of the solution,
Hmm.
not just criticize, critique, or point things out. I mean, people are strange. Like people in the comments, like, "Well, brother Ron, you always criticizing black people. What about the solutions?" Like, I know this dude probably 30 years older than me and never had a daddy.
But you can't
You know,
you can't even think about a solution. I get told all the time, I hate black people and I hate black women. You
right?
it's like the scientific method. You can't even think about a solution until you've identified the problem.
Hmm.
A solution really shouldn't be on your mind until you figured out the problem, because your solution will be inadequate if you don't know the problem.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like a lot of, I mean, but like, it's like, well, people already replicate or procreate and reproduce life, and not even understanding that what you just said, and they may never get it. And when they get it, it
Hmm.
might be years or decades later.
Hmm.
When they already raised their children, got grandchildren, and all this other stuff, even great grandchildren.
And that's something my mother is experiencing. We sit and, like today, sat for about
Hmm.
2, 3 hours and just talked about different things she did as a mother and why she did it, and then realizing, you know, I did this because of this experience that I had, or I did this because of how I felt at this moment. And, growing and realizing I could have done this differently. Not necessarily, that you should beat yourself up about it, but at least acknowledging, you know, your role and what you did as a parent is most important. So then can make a difference in the life of someone else. It could affect me going forward when I have children, someday,
Hmm.
having those conversations and acknowledging the things that we do as parents, as individuals in general. Yeah, women do certainly need to take responsibility for the men that we choose to lay down with, that we choose to deal with in general.
I'm letting you say that. I'm glad you said it. I just people, Brother Ron hates black women. Lord have mercy. No, but I feel you what you're saying. There's enough blame to go around. But do your mom have a guilty conscience now, or she feel like she's free from that guilt? I mean, she just
No,
didn't know.
there's no guilt. It's just really just conversation and just acknowledgement. It's not like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I shouldn't have done this. It's just like, okay. And like today, my mom asked me, well, what's something you would commend me for doing as a parent? And I would say it has definitely helped me in my relationships with other people. Is my everything was always a conversation
Mm-hmm.
with my mother and I, whether it was me being disciplined, something I didn't understand. And my mom also involved me in a lot of things that people probably say children shouldn't be involved in, like finances. I was talking with a friend and she asked me, what do you think about a 10-year-old sitting down at a table with a mother and father going over bills and finances?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Expose that child to those things at a young age so they can, grow up understanding and it's not new to them.
All right. That's why you are a true old soul for real. You've been exposed to a lot in a short period of time.
I would say I didn't grow up with a lot. Like my brother and I were 18 years apart, and he moved away with his high school sweetheart. So I was the only kid in the house. And then my first cousins were pretty much going to college when I was born. I didn't really have a lot of kids around me, except for when I did go to daycare and I, went to school. But as far as with my family, I was the only kid. I was always around adults. We certainly have children too young. And I think a big problem is we are having children before we have dealt with our own childhood trauma. And then we bring that childhood trauma onto our children. And then that develops that they have their own childhood trauma and they bring that onto their children, another generational curse that we have. We need to
Mm.
stop having kids until we've dealt with the trauma we've experienced as a child. And when I'm saying trauma, I'm not saying like, not everybody was beat, not everybody was molested, not everybody, went through
Mm-hmm.
something extremely traumatic, but we all have some type of trauma, whether it was the fact that, like I said, I was talking to a friend, her mother, nothing was a conversation for her. She was never able to speak up and voice her feelings and her
Mm-hmm.
opinions about different things. Even saying okay was talking back. So, as an adult, she doesn't know how to communicate in relationships and articulate her feelings in a way that it can be understood by others.
Mm.
And, just, but sorry, to go back, that comes back from her mother's childhood trauma and the things that she experienced as a child that she wasn't able to speak up about. But yeah, that was my statement. We need to stop having children until we have dealt with our childhood trauma. And people make the excuse, well, I didn't mean to get pregnant. When you laid down and had sex, you meant to conceive a child because that's what comes out of sex.
Yeah, you're not
That's
wearing,
just it.
not doing protection, like no birth control, no condoms, nothing
Right.
like that. And really, that's what it's made for, actually.
Exactly. That's the purpose of sex. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a good feeling out of it, but the ultimate intention of the action is to create another human being. So that's like you know, lighting a lighter and expecting fire not to come out of it, or
Hmm.
sparking a lighter and expecting fire not to come out of it.
So, like, my thing is, should we be like laying down with people for pleasure? Then, like, you should lay down with people that should be like okay with having a child with, right? That should be like
Right,
a woman or man you could respect in the morning and walk down the street with and not be ashamed of.
right. And even if you're one that doesn't want to settle down with one person and have one partner, at least make sure that the partners that you choose to lay down with, there's someone that that you have respect for, like you said, someone that you wouldn't be ashamed to say, oh, I laid down with this person, or I did this with this person.
So that comes like when we talking about, I guess, like selective breeding. This is a form of eugenics, right? When you say this is a form of eugenics, choosing a partner for certain reasons.
I wouldn't say it's a form of eugenics, but well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we
But
all just
I
people like,
wouldn't say
well,
we're certain
eugenics are
on that.
bad. So is eugenics really bad though when it comes to breeding?
No, no,
Okay. Oh,
no,
go blow
no.
people heads up. Oh my God! Oh, Negro Project 2.0. Oh no! But they bred us like that, like horses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you like you
But
get a LeBron James. That's generations of breeding right there.
I like you said earlier, it's almost like we need them to survive. What we don't realize is genetically they need us to survive.
Yeah, but they hate us for it, though. I see.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
hate us for it because they know who we are, but we don't know who we are. That's the problem.
right. We're a product of this earth. They're a product of a mishap.
Oh yeah, they are a mistake. Oh my God, we messed up. It's like white people really are like the kid in the grocery store that acts up. That's what white people are really.
And then people say, oh, it's racist to call them mutants or to call them whatever.
Well,
It's science. It is what it is. You're
yep.
the mutation of what we are. And I can't even really say what we are to be honest, because I probably have more white in me than I have black in me. I
Interesting.
know,
So
no,
are you like
no,
Kamala
but
Harris? Are
it's
you a
down there.
Hindu Brahmin
No, I'm no
Aryan?
Hindu Brahmin, but I think
You look. I look at your hair.
my
I was like,
great
I can see that.
grandfather was white, great grandfather.
That's cool. Yeah. So, I mean, Laura, I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, I really enjoyed this. You are an interesting person. I look forward to have you back on. And like, what can we do to support what you're doing? Like, anything you want us to support, or how can we find you? 'Cause I know a lot of people want to pick your brain.
Right now, I'm just on Facebook. I'm still figuring out what my real purpose is outside of this little garden I have going on. But I'm really just figuring things out. I keep telling myself I want to do one thing and I want to do another, and at this point, I'm just trying to figure things out. But I am Lauren Powell on Facebook. My last name is spelled Powell. I was Lauren Danielle Powell, but I started talking a little bit too much truth, and Facebook shut me up. But you can find me on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm good. It's an honor, but we're gonna make sure we keep on. In the words of my friend Judge D. Army Bailey, the late great Judge D. Army Bailey, we're gonna amplify, amplify, amplify. We're gonna amplify your message. That's what we're gonna do over here.
I
And
got that.
we need you to start your platform of truth speaking and get it going, because like my thing is I want to encourage as many black people to start speaking their truths, and we come together as a truth army. And so they take
Yeah,
one of us down, you bury the man, and continue to plan.
we need to have a platform of our own where we can't be silenced
Oh yeah.
and filtered. And when you watch that new episode of Power, you have to let me know because we have to have a
We
discussion.
really would have a discussion about it. 'Cause I actually like Tariq now. I used to hate him, but he's likable now in book two. I mean, I know you looking like that, but I'm saying like his character
Oh no,
is
I'm cool with Tariq. Tariq,
yeah, Tariq is
yeah,
kind of, but
Tariq
I
is
ain't like
cool.
how Power ended the first Power. It was BS. It's not believable. It's like they run out. I hate when a show lasts so long that they run out ideas.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
still convinced that Ghost is gonna show up alive.
he probably is. This is weird. And that dude, that prosecutor boy, he is a likable buffoon. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
if Tariq is the Harlem Globetrotter, he's the Washington Generals. He was born to lose, man. But I like looking at him, and I hate when they gonna knock him out. They probably gonna never knock him off. But you know what I like Method Man. He's a real method actor. I
Oh
love him.
yeah.
At the
Oh
role
yeah.
as the lawyer, he's really convincing.
Yeah.
Method Man is unique to me. I mean, I always liked him as a rapper, but he's just a talented dude. I like him.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's great. And Mary J. Blige, you know who I think would have killed that role would have been Jada Pinkett Smith. I think she could have played that role. What do you think? The
20
Queen
years
Pen.
ago. Yeah.
20
No,
years ago. What do you
no.
think about Mary J. Blige's performance?
I actually think she does a pretty good job as her in her role.
Yeah, the Queen Pen. She actually is convincing because it's more like a natural thing for her or
Yeah,
something.
I don't think that she
It's
really has
not, yeah.
to act too
No,
much.
she's not acting. That's the thing.
Now, Taraji P. Henson, if
Uh-huh.
she played that part,
You think she would have killed that?
Oh yeah.
I could see that actually, but you don't think Jada Pinkett Smith could have handled that? You remember you
20
seen it
years ago.
20 years ago? What changed then? What changed for you? Besides her face, she's like Iron
That's
Man in the
it.
face.
That's what it
Like
is for me.
Iron
It's the
Man.
face. It's
What
the
the hell
face.
happened? Cause you
It's
look at
plastic
Jason's
man.
lyrics, you use Jason's lyric, and you look at that face, that Iron
Hmm.
Man face she got. Like that's why she act like a man, because she really a man. I saw that. What do you think about that red table talk she did a couple months ago? Where she
Which one?
embarrassed Will Smith, the one she embarrassed Will Smith with
I
the
think that
tangible.
was just you know, totally disrespectful as a woman, as a man, as a married couple. It's already bad enough. Your business is already out in the media, and then to come out into the public and disrespect each other like that, and it's just, I don't know. And I get why they did it. I
Hmm.
mean, if I was in that business, I'd probably do it too. Like, I'm sure they gained a lot from it, but you just don't do that. You know, your relationship and your marriage is sacred, and you just don't do that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. But you know, Ozzy Davis and Ruby D, they were swingers though. But you keep it in the closet. You know, it's like Michael
A
Jackson.
lot
Keep it in
of
the
them are
closet.
swingers.
Yeah, that's part of. I mean, that's how they network. They swinging stuff
Hmm.
around, and that's how they network. It's like some people network on a golf course, and some people network in the bedroom. But I think she did it to come out to save that man from killing himself. The singer.
Hmm.
'Cause, I mean, first of all, you should have been messing with him anyway, because he already was emotionally and mentally compromised.
Hmm.
But people do that all the time, though. So I guess nobody would be screwing if they didn't mess with folks that was mentally and emotionally compromised. I don't know.
I think a lot of what these people do is publicity as well.
It is for the likes, for the views, to stay relevant.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's bread and circuses. Like, to me, that's even not important at this point, unless you're talking about the pedophilia in those type of industries,
Hmm.
which has been getting exposed under Trump, but nobody talk about it in the mainstream media. They're not talking about how they breaking up all these checks with child sex trafficking rings and stuff, and the
If you
pedophilia in high
let
places.
let our people tell it, that has nothing to do with Trump.
It has a lot to do with Mr. Trump. We had a dude called Boss Crump. He was the mayor of Memphis, and he was part of this powerful political machine. We call him Boss Crump. I call Trump Boss Trump. He's good. He's good. Give us watermelon and chicken and beer. Oh, Boss Trump. Give us those stimulus checks, Boss Trump. Anyway, I gotta go now. I'm running. Well, thank you, Sister Lauren. I ain't want to get too goofy on here, but I thank you for your time and for your commitment to serving our people. Know that you're not alone out here. You got people like you. We just need to find each other and hold each other accountable and help support each other reach the highest pinnacles of our potential. So thank you so much,
Absolutely.
sister. And in the words of
Thank
Duke
you for
Elton.
having me, and thank you for everyone that joined and took the time to be a part of the conversation.
Oh yeah, I got a very educated audience, and they
Hmm.
enjoy people like you. I mean, you like elderberry gummy bears or something. It's just like it's good for the immune system of the mind. So if you don't mind, but thank you so much. In the words of Duke Elton, we love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing.
I look forward to speaking to you once you watch
Watch the
that last
power.
episode of
I'm gonna get
Power.
that subscription and cancel it after 7 days. I'm going.
I'm gonna put you on to something. I'm gonna put you on to something.
Are you put me on?
Um,
Oh boy. Everything's aboard board and nothing legal going on. Everything's on board. We love Jesus over here. I
right.
gotta stop. I'm just like, it's getting crazy. I've been doing all these shows back to back. I'm trying to do this. I've been doing this festival that I normally do out in the community. I've been doing it online, so I've been doing back to back shows like crazy.
That's a
But
good
it's
thing.
fun.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
but also I think I'm getting better at this thing. But
Yeah.
it's an honor to have you on. I just really enjoy you. You are as good as advertised in terms. You said you're the real deal.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I believe so.
Pleasure
You
to
got
be here with you.
and too. You take care of yourself, and I'll see you
You
in the new
too.
year, hopefully.
And I wishing that everyone well.
God, definitely. They are doing well because of you. You are healing the people with your words, and words create worlds. And this is We All Be News, Radio, and TV, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Y'all take care.